I've got to say, guys, I'm a little bit worried for Conor McGregor. You guys know by now, if you subscribe to this channel, which you should be, that I am a Conor McGregor fanboy. I've always been a fan of Conor. I think what he's done for the UFC is nothing short of incredible. Do I believe he can be a bit of a divvy sometimes? Yeah. Do I believe he gets a little bit too much hate? Yeah. But think about it this way. Imagine reaching the highest of highs, becoming the double champ, fighting Floyd Mayweather, having 100 million in your bank account, coming from nothing. You used to be on the dole to now you're right up there. You're the top of the sport. Everyone knows your name, and then you get injured and you can't fight. That energy has to go somewhere, and often that can lead to bad things happening. I'm not making excuses for him. I'm just saying I kind of understand why fighters like these go off the rails a little bit. Shaun Jones was exactly the same. Anyway, that's besides the point. McGregor has just done an interview with Adam Catterall from BT Sport, and in this interview, he finally gives us an insight into what's going on behind the scenes and why we haven't seen him fight recently, and it's looking quite bad, to be fair. I'm sad to say this, and I hope it doesn't come true, but it could be possible that McGregor goes out with a fizzle instead of a bang. Now, the good news is he done this interview, said a few concerning things, but he actually done another interview last night, clarifying a few of the things that he said in this interview, and it kind of puts us at ease because it looks like he's actually got a fight date ready. Let's have a quick listen to this and see what he's saying.
Is there any more movies in the pipeline? Seeing as that you've had a little test.
I have had no conversations with no one.
Okay.
And I know there's talks probably back going on. I'm sure I'm not privy to it. I don't want to hear it. So for me, no. No, there is no movies more from me.
Okay.
That's kind of good to hear. What McGregor's doing there is he's basically saying, there's no more movies. I'm committing to fighting 100%. I'm saying it officially now. I'm not doing any more films. My plate is clear. Book me, UFC. Book me for the fight.
So the next step then, I anticipate, is getting back in that octagon.
Yeah, like I said, I have 2 fights left on my UFC contract. We're still in the first quarter of 2024.
And that's the first time we've heard him talk about his contract. He said he's got 2 fights left. And you know what happens when fighters are getting to the end of the contracts? The UFC starts shafting them. They'll basically try and devalue McGregor. All the recent interviews that we've seen of McGregor, he says that he wants to fight. He was saying this last year. Don't forget, Dana White was the one who set up The Ultimate Fighter with Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor in hopes that they were going to fight at the end of last year. But then every interview you see of Dana White talking about McGregor, he never gives a straight answer. He never actually says, oh, McGregor wants to fight, or yet we're talking to him. All he ever says is, oh, McGregor's got money. I talked about that in my last Conor McGregor video. Dana White will never just be honest and upfront. I like Dana, but I just get the sense that him and the UFC are trying to shaft McGregor. He's on the back end of his career. He's 35 now. How many more years has he got left in him? Not many. So I think the UFC are hoping to re-sign McGregor, but they're pushing the fight date back and back and back. So then when it comes time to re-sign, they can give him a worse deal. That's just a theory. I don't know how true it is.
This workload on me right now because I've got the promotion of the movie. I've got St. Patrick's festivities with the alcohol. After that, it's a closed door.
I don't like the fact that McGregor's actually saying, oh, I've got St. Paddy's Day, got the ale, put the fight on the back burner, I've got to get bladdered. But he's Irish. What are you going to do about it?
So I get to go in and close the door and, map my plan. And then gym, home. And I hope I get some clarity with a date and I can push towards it. I'm sure we will get something in by year end.
This version of McGregor doesn't seem too confident and too certain. Remember the previous McGregor who used to call all the shots? Even though the UFC and Dana White always had the control, McGregor kind of got what he wanted. Whereas now you look at this McGregor talking about, oh, I want a date. They keep pushing the dates back. Hopefully I can get some clarity. He doesn't look like the guy who's in control anymore. Go back and think about where McGregor was in terms of his stardom. But now that he's had all that inactivity, in that time, the UFC and ESPN have made an incredible deal. So the UFC are making crazy money without McGregor anymore. There's not really many superstars within the UFC at the moment, but the UFC is still killing it. In their eyes, they really don't need McGregor anymore. Hence why it seems like there's no urgency for the UFC to get him back in the ring, in the cage.
You flirted in the past with International Fight Week, which is the end of June.
Mm-hmm.
Is that realistic for you?
Yeah, for sure. I would like that. I would love that. If they give me that and then we can go ahead and straight away, for sure.
International Fight Week, end of June. That's what he's shooting for. Now, pay attention to what McGregor says after talking about the Sphere in Las Vegas. Look how uncertain he is.
That Sphere in Las Vegas looks good as well, doesn't it? The big ball that they've created there. Mate.
You did call for that also. That would be great for me. June 29th and then the Sphere. And then, then what? Then what happens then? I don't know. And I wonder, do they know? There's been no talk about like anything, you know. So I wonder what next.
Wow, that's mad seeing McGregor talk like that. 2 fights, and then what? Like, I don't know. You can definitely tell that McGregor has been ghosted by the UFC. They're not in talks with him whatsoever. He hasn't got a clue what's going on. And this is the biggest superstar in MMA we're talking about. And now it seems like he's just got no leverage anymore.
What about opponents? Who do you want to fight?
It's good to see Poirier get that win the weekend. That makes this the quadrilogy, and you know, we'll say the real trilogy, the finish of it, to put an end to it, to put a finish to it. That is a huge bout right now. So I anticipated the result would go that way, and I was happy to see it. And that's a big one for sure. Obviously, I've got the Diaz trilogy. That's what I had said for the Sphere. You know, there was cold water put on that publicly. Off the bat, and I wasn't happy with that. So I'm not that. I mean,
you can definitely tell McGregor has lost his confidence. So he said the Dustin Poirier fight, I don't want to see that, because we all know that Dustin has beat McGregor, and I don't really like saying that, but Dustin's been active. He's been smashing it lately. He's made big improvements. Conor coming off the 2 losses, the injury, the inactivity, getting a little bit older, it just wouldn't be good for him. Now, the Nate Diaz trilogy, I believe that's the fight to set up. But after Michael Chandler, so Conor McGregor's last 2 fights on his contract need to be Michael Chandler and then Nate Diaz, and that's if Nate Diaz is able to re-sign back to the UFC. Nate Diaz has expressed that he wants to come back.
I need discussion or conversation, because if I lose interest, if I'm not getting anything back, and I just drift off, my man. So I hope I can get something in and get dialed in.
And there it is right there. Conor's just confirmed that the UFC aren't even talking to them. And if he's not hearing anything from them, he gets disinterested. And that's why we're seeing such sporadic training footage from him. He's going to start training when there's a little bit of talk with the UFC. The UFC go quiet. So Conor loses interest, stops training. Then the UFC start talking with Conor again. He starts training. They go quiet and he stops. We can all sit here and hate on Conor and say that he needs to commit and that he should be training all the time. But think about it if it was you. You're doing movie roles, you've got a family, you've got another kid on the way, I think, I'm not even sure. You've got all these media requirements, and then the UFC aren't even talking to you about a fight. Are you going to get in the gym every single day and train your ass off? Probably not, especially when you've already made your money. Even Dustin Poirier spoke about this in the past. He needs a challenge in order to be motivated to train. He's got all the money he needs now. He needs something that's going to make him nervous. That's what he said before the Justin Gaethje fight. He needs fights that's going to make him lose sleep in order to make him get up early and get those miles in and get those rounds in. And Conor is exactly the same. That's what these fighters are like. They need the rabbit to chase, especially when you're older, because Conor's been training for the better part of 20 years now, so he's not going to have the same hunger to get into the gym and spar every single day when there's no actual fight lined up. Maybe when he was younger, yeah, but when you get older, things do change. All my younger audience, your mindset changes, your perspective changes, you realise what's important and what's not. So Conor looks visibly frustrated here.
What's the noise with Chandler? Because obviously he did tough.
Chandler, of course. Yeah, that's it. I would assume that would be the first one.
Yep.
I would assume that would be the first one. Maybe Makhachev and Poirier fight for the title in July. You know, I don't think Poirier will be ready. He said something about ribs or something like that. And then there was a bit going on the head and whatnot after the bell. It's the opponent doesn't matter. I just wish for a nice run up. You know, a bit of transparency, and let me go over it again.
I actually feel a little bit sorry for Conor McGregor here. You can see he's visibly upset and frustrated. So Nate Diaz actually responded to what Conor McGregor said about the dates getting pushed back and him losing interest in training. Nate said, "This was me for years before Conor even got here. They want you to die before you get out of these contracts. It's up to you to make something pop. No one's going to help you but you. Free Conor, it's Patty's Day in this bitch." I think he means Paddy's Day. Nate Diaz even slays his typing. And Conor responded to Nate.
What did you make of Nate Diaz giving you a St. Patrick's Day shout?
Love it, love Nate. Happy Paddy's Day to the Diaz bros and the Diaz clan. That's it, it's a man I shared 15 minutes in the octagon.
Sorry, we're being stopped. I heard that...
He's all right, go on.
Now, although this is sad and there's a lot of frustration around Conor McGregor getting his fight, it seems to be confirmed Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler is set for the summer. Conor went on ESPN last night, 16 hours ago, and he confirmed the fight against Michael Chandler. I will have to edit this a little bit because I actually got a copyright strike on my channel last week, and if you get 3 of them, your channel is terminated. I won't say whose content it was that I used, but I edited it heavily still, and they still copyright struck my channel. So with this ESPN video, we'll just be very careful. Let's see what McGregor is saying here.
Fans are excited about Roadhouse. They're also excited about you coming back to the Octagon. When do you think that might be, and against who?
Yeah, we got confirmation a few days ago that it's all systems go, and the Notorious will be returning in the UFC Octagon this summer.
This summer, let's go Notorious MMA. I'm gonna go the fight. I'm gonna go the fight. It's time for the Shaun Jones vlog. I need to get some dough saved up first. Speaking of which, if you want to build muscle naturally and learn everything there is about training, supplementation, nutrition, and recovery, check out my Natural Physique Academy down below. Help support the channel, and all the sign-up money will go towards doing a vlog for the Conor McGregor return in Vegas. That'd be sick.
Chandler? Michael Chandler?
Yes, Michael Chandler, yeah.
185.
Oh, he's so up, yeah.
announced.
Now look, see this? It's Chandler. I got to shut up, Michael, you imbecile. The blade
I have no idea what that's about.
doesn't shut up. But see him on Raw and all. I like Mike. I'm gonna bust him up. I'm gonna bust Mike up. Yeah. If I say it, I do it. If I say it, it gets done. End of.
See, I like this version of Conor. You see how there's a confidence difference. In the first interview, he didn't know what to say. He was like, oh, we'll see what happens. And in this one, he's like, I'll bust Chandler up. Now I'm getting excited. Let's go.
But I got great news. It's all systems go. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Got the call. Everything's sweet. I had me camps in Dubai. I had a camping can. I was preparing, and then I was kind of getting nothing back, you know, and then other things would have come up, so I kind of dipped out. But now it's on.
There we go. Once again, he confirmed that he was getting messed about. He was waiting for the UFC, then all communications went quiet, so then he stopped training.
I got a guy up. We had a full straightener, a full fight, just to see, you know, just get that going. And camp has begun.
Let's go! Camp has begun. Conor McGregor camp is in full effect. Vegas 2024. Let's go! Subscribe to the channel, support the journey, and let's get out to Vegas this year and we'll watch the McGregor fight. I might need some new mates though, because no one's got any money. So I might do a petition for some new mates to come with me to Vegas to watch the Conor McGregor fight. So make sure you follow me on Instagram and we'll get this petition done over the next few weeks. Right, so that's pretty interesting then. McGregor, the date is confirmed. Him versus Chandler in the summer. International Fight Week. Oh, that's going to be so good. I can't wait for it. Who do I predict will win the fight? Well, me brain says Chandler, but me heart says McGregor. If I'm going to go to Vegas, I've got to go out there with full support for McGregor. So I'm going to go all in on McGregor winning that fight, even though every fibre within my body tells me, Shaun, don't pick McGregor. He's been extremely inactive. He's had an injury. People don't come back from those level of injuries easily. But what can I say? I've been a fan of him before he even came in the UFC. So let's go McGregor. What do you guys think about this? Comment your thoughts down below. Are you happy to hear about the fight announcement? Is it official? I mean, it kind of seems official. He announced it, but there still feels like there's a dark cloud over this entire situation, just with him saying about he's only got 2 fights left. He doesn't really know what's going to happen after that. Is he going to get shafted and screwed by the UFC? Are they going to try and drag it out even more? Are they going to put a crappy deal on the table for him? As I say, if you want to support the channel for free, drop a like on the video and subscribe with notifications turned on. If you want to support the channel a little bit more, then check out my Natural Physique Academy, which will teach you how to build muscle naturally. There's 12 training programs in there, meal plans, over 100 exercise demonstrations, calorie calculators, and dozens and dozens and dozens of videos on training for muscle growth and strength and optimizing your nutrition. Check it out below. Appreciate you all. See you tomorrow.